Hilchus Toen V'nitan Perek Shishoser. Reuven shemocher sodo l'Shimon, v'hoya Levi me'edei ashtar. Levi signed on a star where Reuven was selling his field to Shimon. And now, Ubal Levi, afterwards Levi is coming to Shimon, la'arer al asoda v'litein sheReuven gozel esimimanu, that this field was never really Reuven's. And Memela, it belongs to Levi. Shimon never really had a right to get it because it was never Reuven's. So the din is ein shemle. We don't listen to Levi's taina. Ve'mashgichen al rayis sheyovi. Alesi asoda. Any rayis that he's going to bring on that field is not going to be something we will reckon sich with. You yourself were made that Reuven was selling this field to Shimon, and now you're tiny that it wasn't Reuven's field. So Mela, the fact that it was made on the mecher of Reuven to Shimon, that disqualifies him from being able to taina against this field, and Mela, he can't taina that the field was never Reuven's. That's number one. Now, v'chein, Imheid Levi b'shtar shekosu be'asoda plenish Reuven mitzad mizrach and there was this field that Reuven sold to Shimon, and next to this field there was another field. There was another. Reuven sold the field to Shimon. Levi didn't sign on that field, on that star. But on the other end there was another field that someone else sold, Yehuda, which had a field that bordered on Reuven's field, and now Yehuda sold that field, and in that star it said that this field which borders on Reuven's field. So basically, in that star, it's saying that that field belongs to Reuven. This field that Reuven sold to Shimon, which we know which the field is, which field it is. So over there, that says in that star that this field borders on Reuven's field. Basically, it says that it's Reuven's field. And Levi signed on that field, on that star. So Einachram, he didn't sign on the star which Reuven sold to Shimon, but he signed on another star which mentions this field which Reuven sold to Shimon as being Reuven's field. And Levi signed on it. So that also causes that Levi doesn't have a right to time it's not Reuven's field, because he himself signed on a star which used this field as a simon and called this field as Reuven's field. That's this thing. V'chein, imheid Levi b'shtar shekosu be'asod ha'plein shel Reuven mitzad mizrach imayrav. It was another star that was selling a different field, but it used this field and said that this field is Reuven's field, which is mitzad mizrach imayrav. Is hail v'asa asod a simulacher. Since this field was used as a simon for another field, the Hayed B'shtar, and there was an Edis in the star that this was called Reuven's field. So it's again Avad Eschusi. Since Levi signed that star, so he lost his rights. He can't go ahead and tell her that this field wasn't Reuven's. How could you go ahead and be made on that other star, which mentioned this star, this field as being Reuven's field? And now, and now you're going to tell me it's not Reuven's field. You yourself signed on this star, which referred to this field as being Reuven's field. So mainly you were being made that that field is Reuven's field, and you have no taina against that field being not Reuven's field. Now, no, there is a part of the field that's Reuven's field. Tell him Simon. There's one row of that field is Reuven's, but the rest of it is not Reuven's. And tell him, who shall Reuven? Only that row which was next to Reuven, that's that field which is next to the one row of Reuven, that's the simon. Tell him, who shall Reuven? That belongs to Reuven. But the rest of the field is tiny, it doesn't belong to Reuven. So again, Reuven sold the field to Shimon, and now Levi is tiny that field that Reuven sold to Shimon is really his. He went ahead and he signed on a star which used this field as a simon of being Reuven's field. He says, no, it wasn't the whole field is Reuven's. Only the outside row, which was next to the other field, that was Reuven's. Is Harizu Taina on the Shmaz? That's a Taina which could be accepted. And V'yeshel later, I'll call Asad, the Chus Meisitem. Tell him. So Levi has a schus to go ahead and Taina that the rest of the field really is his. He signed on a star which used this field as a simon, be calling Reuven's field. It only meant the outside the outside row of this field, but everything else of this field really is mine. Now, ein kol advarim amurim ela be'echad me'edi ashtar shebo la'ar. If a person that signed on the star, either on the star mecher or on the star which used this field as a simon, so then since he signed on the star, so obviously he knows what it says in the star. So basically, by signing on the star, he's saying what it says in the star is true. Aval hadayin shekiyam ashtar. He didn't sign on the star. The star was signed by other Edis, and now he was used as a dayan to authenticate the Edis which was signed on the star. In order to to confirm that these Eidos are authentic Eidim, so that's the Kiyum of the Shtar. So if he was a person that was a Dayan and he was involved in the Kiyum HaShtar, Aval Dayan Shekiyum HaShtar, Yesh Lo L'Ar, he has a schus to be Ma'ar on Pratim that says in the Shtar, when I went ahead to authenticate this Shtar, I wasn't B'chalal involved, I didn't even read the Shtar. I was only involved in saying that these signatures were true signatures. Dayanim are able to go ahead and authenticate a shtar, even though they never read the shtar. When you sign a shtar, you have to read the shtar before you sign it. Since they read the shtar, so they can't tie it. And in the shtar it said that this karka belongs to Reuven. Either it says that Reuven sold it to Shimon, or it was used as a simon that this karka is bordering on Reuven's field. But I'll quote upon him in the shtar it says that it was Reuven's field, and you signed on that shtar. So when you signing on that shtar, so maybe you can't tie that it wasn't Reuven's field. Halacha Gimel. Bo Shimon v'nimlach b'Levi v'amalei hareini k'henes sada plainis miReuven b'atzos choshen ekneisa. So Shimon went to Levi and asked him for advice whether or not he should buy a karka from Reuven. Reuven was offering to sell a karka to Shimon, and now Shimon went to Levi and asked him for advice. In Amalei Levi's, and Levi told him, Lechu knei tevehi, go ahead and buy that field. It's a good idea. Buy it. It's a good field. And now Levi is timing that field never really belonged to Reuven, and Memele, it's his field. So the question is, Shimon is saying, how could you say this it would never belong to Reuven? You're the one that advised me to go ahead and buy it from Reuven. So on that Levi Kataina, I advised you to buy it from Reuven, was for my benefit. It was an issue for me to do that. But Lepel was for my benefit. It's not that I said it was really Levi's, or really Reuven's. I would rather you buy it from Reuven, so therefore I'll be able to take it out of you. Because to take it out of Reuven is harder, and to take it out of you is easier. So I'm being moided, I did something wrong, I gave you a wrong eitzah. But Lepel, I was never moided that this karka belongs to Reuven. By the fact that I gave you an eitzah to buy it from Reuven is not really a hidah that the karka belongs to Reuven. By signing a shtar where Reuven sells it to Shimon, so that's a hidah that Reuven owns the karka. Mashenkin, by giving you an eitzah to buy it from Shimon, that's not called a hidah. That's Yeshlei Levi, Levi could still be ma'ar on this field. He didn't do a maisa by signing on the shtar. Whereas it was preferable for me for you to buy it in order for me to be able to take it out of you rather than take it out of Reuven. So obviously I didn't do anything right. I did something wrong. But on the other hand, I didn't do a maisa of like saying that the karka is his. I gave you advice. Mashenkin, if I actually signed on a shtar where the shtar says that Reuven is selling a field to Shimon, so my signature says that the field is Reuven's. Later on, when I'm tining that the field wasn't ever Reuven's, so then I lost my schus to have such a time. Halacha Dalet. Reuven she'irir al Shimon. Reuven comes to Shimon and says to Shimon, this karka that you have is mine. V'Shimon Eimer, Shimon says, Eini idea, ma'atasoch, I don't know what you want from me. I bought this field from Levi, and I have edim that I ate it shnei chazaka. So I'm timing, I bought it from Levi 3 years ago, and I have edim that it was shnei chazaka, over how many years ago? At least 3 years ago, and I have edim shachaltir shnei chazaka. So that's Shimon's time. Is Amalei Reuven? Reuven says, 1 second. Harei yesh li edim shebe'erev baso ilai v'amarta li mecheli sodazu. I have Adam that says clearly that you, Shimon, came to me, Reuven, and wanted to buy from me this field. So the mere fact that you wanted to buy this field is an admission that the field is mine. No, you're tiny, the field is yours, you bought it from Levi. But I have Adam that say that you came to me last night, and last night you came and you wanted to buy from me this field. So is Ein Zurai. That's not really a raya. And therefore, V'yesh li Shimon leimar, Shimon could tiny no, Be'emes, the field is mine, but I know you're tiny, the field is yours. And I'd rather buy the field from you and avoid all the tiness from you. In other words, I wasn't buying it from you because I thought the field is yours. Be'emes, the field is mine, and I bought it from Levi, and I have a chnei chazaka. Elamai, I know that you're tining that the field is yours, so I was willing to go ahead and buy from you the field in order to avoid having to have dinteris with you. Is yesh l'shimon leimer etzisi liknus mecha kedei shelita'arev le'tatricheni bedin. I would rather buy it from you in order for you not to make an error tatricheni bedin. Aval bisha any idea Im Yehu L'choy Eina. I have no idea that it's yours, but I know that you're tiny, it's yours. So I'd rather avoid this tiny. I know that I bought it from Levi, and I know I have Shnei Chazok. And as far as I know, there's no reason for me to think that it's yours. But I know you're tiny, it is yours. So Memela, I'm willing to go ahead and pay you in order to stop your tinus. But not that I really admitted that it's yours. So he has a right to tiny that. So knows the fact that Shimon came to Reuven and wanted to buy it from him is not considered admission that Shimon is admitting that it really belongs to Reuven. But if Reuven comes along with this tiny and says, listen, you came to me the last night and you wanted to buy it from me, so that's the right, that's mine. And Shimon doesn't answer him that, so ain't tainala. We don't help Shimon out with this tiny. Whereas if Shimon tiny is that be'emes, I don't know it's yours, and I was only willing to buy it in order to avoid your tinus, so he could tiny that. But lepel, if he doesn't tiny that, so then we don't tiny it for him. Halacha hey, Reuven she'irer al Shimon. So Shimon is sitting in a field. Reuven comes with a raya that this field was his. He's telling you sold it to me, and I have shnei chazaka. The last 3 years you have been here is gezel achalta. There was no edim at all. So in other words, Reuven is tiny that the field is his. He has edim that the field was his. And Shimon is tiny that I've been here for 3 years and I bought it from you. And I've been here for the last 3 years. Or ben either way, he doesn't have to pay back the pei shachal. In other words, he doesn't keep the field. The field goes back to the marakama because he has no edim that he has a chazaka. Either he has no edim at all or he has an eidechad. Either way, he doesn't get the field. But on the other end, he doesn't have to pay for the peiros. He tines I ate shaliv. Ain't all of edim shemachayv v'nesim bepeiros. There's no edim that are saying that he ate the peiros and memeli is mechuyev. Shar mehatzmei edim. He was made mehatzmei that he ate the peiros and he's tiny that the peiros are his. V'zeh eid sheheid she'achlu sholishanim idach liyapis kecha shalechalubo. And the eidechad, which is also saying that he ate 3 peiros, the peiros for 3 years, you can't use that eidechad to be mechayv to eat the peiros. Because fakir, the eidechad is tiny that he has a chazak of sholishanim. So the eidechad is kamel yapis kechi. Ve'ilo hayim echad, another one, hoysasadi maris biyadi. So therefore, lepel, he doesn't have to pay for the peiros. In other words, if there's no edim, so for sure he doesn't have to pay for the peiros. He's tiny that he ate the peiros, but he's tiny the peiros are his. And lechuri, even if he's not tiny that he ate it 3 years, he's tiny that he's been here for 2 years. And lepel, the karka is mine. And lepel, he has no edim. There's no edim that he ate the peiros, and there's no edim that the karka is his. So lepel, he's made it that he ate the peiros, but on the other end, and he's tiny the karka is his. So Memela, since he's being made it that he ate the peiros, and he's tiny the karka is his, so there was never he done. There's chayvus of the peiros lechura. Even if there's an eidachod that he ate the peiros, so the eidachod is coming to help him. So Enoch Nami can't help him in order to get the karka, because the eidachod can't give him the karka als chazaka. But on the other end, the eidachod is not going to work against him, that he's going to be mechayiv in peiros. Is lefichach yishover Reuven heses shli mocher. Reuven is tiny the karka is his, and Shimon is tiny the karka is his. So Reuven has to swear that the karka is still his, that he's the marakam and he never sold it. And the tazli akar soda, and the soda goes back to the marakama. And the yishover Shimon heses sheini chayiv lekum bepeiros shachal. And Shimon, since he's made that he ate the peiros, and the peiros is eidachad that ate the peiros, so Al Kopan, he has to swear that the peiros that he ate was his, that are his. He's tiny, no, you ate the peiros, it's mine. And he's tiny, no, the peiros that I ate are mine. So Lepel, there's no edim against him about the peiros. So Bekitzer, the karka goes back to the Murakama because the Magzik doesn't have edim that he has Shnei Chazaka. But on the other end, the peiros, he doesn't have to pay for because he's tiny, it's his, and there's no edus against him. That's talking about if the Eidechad says that he was there for 3 years, or there's no Eidim at all. There's no Eidim at all. However, Hoyu Shnei Eidim, Mi'idin al Shimon, Sha'ach Lepachas Mishnei Chazak. There are 2 Eidim that are saying, he's tiny that I've been here for 3 years, and L'Spel it's mine. But L'Pel, there are Eidim that are saying he'd been here for 2 years. There's no Eidim that are saying he was there 3 years. There's Eidim that are saying he was there for 2 years. So now there's Eidim that are saying, no, so this Karka really belongs to the Marakama. And there are Eidim that are saying that he ate 2 years of this karka, which belongs to the Marakama. So mainly he's like, so those 2 years he has to pay for. So the din is Yahzer kol ha-peiros shachal. So then he has to return the peiros. Now, if there's an eidachot saying that he ate 2 years, so the chura normally when an eidachot comes, you have to mechayev a shvua. But what would be the shvua? The shvua would be lahakash eidachot. The lahakash eidachot to say that he didn't do what the eidachot says he did. But if he agrees to what the eidachot said he did, but he's tying that the karka is his, so that's goes into together and we take shein yachal lishava and memele is mishalom. Vafilo ha'eidachot, there's an eidachot saying that he ate there for 2 years. Is chayiv lahazir al piv. Why? Shareini makasheit. He's not tying that he didn't eat it for 2 years. Ela emer emes hayit. It's taka true that I ate it. Aber v'achalti shnei shonim. That I ate taka the 2 years. V'shali achalti. V'nimtze mechuyev shvua. The eidachot is mechayev shvua. V'eini yochel lishava because he's agreeing to the eidachot and he's tying shali achalti and therefore mishalom. So be kitzer. If there's no eidim at all, or there's eid echad that's saying that he ate it for 3 years, so the karka goes back to the original bailam, and he doesn't have to pay anything. Masha'inken, they both swear shvus hesses. Masha'inken, if there's 2 eidim, or even 1 eid, that he ate it for 2 years, so lepel, so there's no eidim on the chazaka, and on the other hand, there's 2 eidim that are saying that he ate it, so because of those 2 eidim, he has to pay back the payers. And al derech zeh, for the eidachor, he has to pay back the payers, because he's tiny, shali achalti. So the Muslim, if he would have time, we learned before, if he would have time the lepeiros yiradim l'chatchila, he wouldn't have time the karka as his. So even though there's Adam that he ate it, but lepeil he could time the lepeiros yiradim. But over here he's not timing the lepeiros yiradim. Over here he's timing that it's mine, it's my karka. And lepeil, there's Adam that are saying that he ate the peiros, and lepeil he's not believed to say it's his karka. So b'chi agavna he has to pay the peiros, and even by an eidachor he also has to pay the peiros. Halacha zayin kol hamechuyev lahazir hapeiros. Im lo yehoyu yeduyim, they bezin yechelun l'shayir esam kescharabatim u'keitzebe shehu yadua. So in other words, if we're talking about rent, so we can really make a cheshbon, how much normally would be rent for this type of karka. Masha'inkin, if we're talking about not rent, we're talking about produce. Elohoyu peiros ilan, he peiros soda, she'enim yeduyim. We don't know really how much this tree produced or how much this field produced. Is hail ve'enkan taina vadois. Lepel, there's no taina vadois on the behalf of the ma'arer. Is memeli yishalem ha'shaheda be'shachli. In other words, what he's made, what the nitan is made that he ate, that you have to pay. Halacha ches. Kol ha'machzik karka mitachas yodei. Someone that returns a karka because lepel he doesn't have any raya that it's his and therefore goes back to the marakama. Is im sochra lacherim kshohaya machzik bo if he rented it out to others. V'hoyu aseichim kayom, and those renters, the people that rented, are still around. Is mitziyim mehem aschar pam shniyah. So they have to pay the rent to the original owner. So since this karka is going back to the original owner, so the original owner could go to those tenants and say, listen, you owe me schar, you owe me the rent for this karka. V'neisn lebala karka, and then v'choizrin v'toivin zeh sheshachalem mokim shein shalei. And then those tenants could go back to the person that rented the karka to them originally, and which wasn't really his, or was never really authenticated that it was his, and Memela, and they could mum back their rent. So Bekitzer, so Reuven originally owned the karka. Shimon went ahead and sat in the karka and he claimed that it's his. Then Shimon went ahead and rented it out to someone, and that person paid Shimon rent. Then Lepel, Shimon ends up giving back the karka to Reuven because he doesn't have any proof that he ever bought it from Reuven. So now Reuven could go ahead to the tenants and say, listen, you paid rent to Shimon, but you really owed the rent to me. Now these tenants go back to Shimon and say, listen, we paid rent to you, really, we didn't owe you the rent. The rent really we owe to Reuven, and therefore we have to give it back to Reuven. That's this thing. Halacha tes. Osir lo'odam litin taina sheker k'dei la'avis hadina k'dei la'akvei. A person is not allowed to say a taina of sheker in order to change the dinner. It should be in his favor, like we'll soon see. Ketzad. Hoya neisha b'chaveri mona is le'itanenu b'masayim k'dei sheyoyde b'mona v'yischayev shua. Now he's interested in him swearing. Maybe he has other tainas to have on him. In other words, he wants to mun by him other things. And if that person is going to be a kafir hakil, so all he's going to have to do is swear shvuas esses. So he wants to get this person to have to swear a shvua deiraisa, which is a shvuas made of a mixas, and together with the shvuas made of a mixas, he'll be able to be megal with other shvuas, and those shvuas will also have to swear b'nechitas chayfetz. Or he has tainus against him, which is only a tainus shema, and memela when he munts a tainus shema, he's not going to be able to mun from him. He's not going to have to swear. So therefore, if he munts from him more, and lepel he's a made of a miktas, so then he can be megal, but even a tiny shema. So he has an interest. He doesn't want to steal from him. He has an interest in this person swearing. But lepel, in order to reach this interest, he's going ahead and taining a tainas sheker in order to get this person to be a meida b'miksa, because this person is also basically an honest person. So that's the la'avis adin. La'avis adin means in order to get this person to do something which ba'etzim he's not mechuyev. And then that's one situation. Other hoyanesha b'mana, lepel, he owed this person a mana, and lepel v'toanim masayim, the other person is moneying by him 200. Now, if he's going to be moida on the 100 and he's going to be kofer on the other 100, he's going to be chayiv a shuas meida b'miksa. So Mela, what he's interested in doing, he'll be kofer everything. And then when it'll come out of bezin, he'll give the person the 100. So this is hayanesha b'mana. This person, he owed this person a mana, and v'toanim masayim, and that person is moneying by masayim. Is leyema echber bakel bebezin ve'edle b'mana b'nila v'nei kadesh li yischayv l'shuas. You're not allowed to do that. That's the din of that aser la'adam litin taina sheker kidel avis adin. Avis adin means to change the din, to get this person to swear when he's not mechuyev to swear, ekidei la'akvei, or to prevent him from being mechayev you a shvua by through a taina sheker. Halacha yud hayu shleisha nation mana be'echad. There were 3 people that this one person owed each of them a mana, and they knew about the fact that he owed each of them a mana. And lepel the kafir bem, they mon by him the mana, and he was kafir. Now they want to get this mana, they want to get the money out of them. So the eitzah is 2 of them are going to come as edim and say that he owes this third person 303 mana, and memela, and then they'll divide the mana. So lepel, they didn't steal anything because lepel he taka owes them, but lepel they said a lie. Hayu nation mana be'echad the kafir bem liyecha tiveya. And ushnayim me'iden, and therefore kshiyitzim meham yachleiku, and basically they're getting what they feel they deserve. Al dvarim elu kiyezivem hizur akasav v'omar midvar sheker tirchak. They say sai on what we learn in halacha tes of a person tining more than he really owes him, or sai when at end of halacha tes where a person is being owned, he's not being moida on what he really owes in order to avoid having to swear a taina sheker. And also in the case where they're saying edus about him owing the third person, which again they're going to get what they really deserve, but they're getting it through sheker. So al dvarim elu kiyetzvem hizur akasav v'omar midvar sheker tirchok. Brich Rachmana Desayim.